Princeton University's new Lewis Arts Complex, designed by Steven Holl Architects, opened in 2017, after 10 years in the making.
The basic idea for the Lewis Center was to create what looks like three buildings, but it is one. So you could imagine the whole program could fit in one big box. But that's not what Steven did.
What architect Steven Holl did was more poetic, creating three buildings linked by a plaza above ground and a forum below, spatially connecting the study of music, literature, and theater and dance.
There are three buildings, but they're really one.
Imagine dancing in or on buildings like these. That's the idea explored by architect Steven Holl and choreographer Jessica Lange in their collaboration, Tesseracts of Time, a dance for architecture. Dimitra, an architect and a dancer herself, was the design director for the project.
I have done dance for many, many years myself, so I loved that we had the opportunity to work with the choreographer and dancer. So I saw the collaboration as a conceptual merging of ideas.
I think what connects the idea of architecture and dance is dance, to me, is architecture. It's architecture of people moving through space in a mathematical way with momentum and speed. For me, it's about exploring space.
It's in four movements: under the ground, in the ground, on the ground, and over the ground. And that was kind of the first sketch that Jessica agreed that this would be a way to proceed, a kind of framework on which we could start to work on the ground and over.
So his ideas on architecture is that it exists in four different ways in relation to the ground. It relates under the ground, in the ground, on the ground, and over the ground. And when he explained this to me on our very first conversation, I immediately saw a dance. I'm the type of choreographer who wants to create collaborative experiences and explorations. I love feeding off of another art form. So whether it's a poet or a composer or a visual artist or an architect, they become my subject.
Models exploring abstract ideas of space and geometry are part of Steven Holl's own artistic practice, and they became the starting point for visualizing the dance.
These big projections are actually occupied through green screen technique, and the actual sizes are more like this.
For the second movement of the dance, In, they used green screen technology.
And we worked very closely with them, so we would give them small clips of video into the space, and Jessica would choreograph according to those spaces.
And for the last two movements, structures were built. They're used first on the stage,
and then fly these structures at the end. And it just gives this like kind of really rich and dense experience.
Steven Holl Architecture's collaboration with Jessica Lange Dance is part of their ongoing research and development into the practice of architecture. They call it their explorations of In.
Right now, this sphere of the sun is passing through this sphere and shining on that sphere.
What we did with Jessica was interesting was it was not just designing the sets. It was a real collaboration where the concepts were developed in conjunction with Steven's thoughts and the work that we were doing at the office, the research project, the explorations of IN.